How's it going all? In this video, I want to discuss whether you should buy Treasury bills directly from Treasury Direct or from your favorite broker like Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, or Merrill Edge. Both options have their own pros and cons, so let's just dive right in. And first off, Treasury bills have been falling off in terms of yields over the last few months. For example, in September, the one-year Treasury was peaking at around 5.5% APY. Very attractive. Lately though, that yield has decreased to around 5.3%. It's still pretty darn good, especially considering that the interest you earn is exempt from both state and local taxes. So if you live in a high income tax state like California or New York, the tax equivalent yield is much closer to 6% APY. And the big question is, why are Treasury yields falling? Well, some of that effect is due to the Federal Reserve leaving their rates unchanged in the last meeting, and some of that is also just due to the sheer popularity of Treasuries. As you might know, the US Treasury auctions off their debt to millions of buyers. Some of these include retail investors like you and me, while others often include foreign governments and large institutions. And with rates being well over 5%, while savings accounts only offering 4.25%, everyone is excited to gobble up these rates. And with increased demand for Treasury bills, the yields tend to fall just a bit. But because Treasury bills are incredible cash investments that are fully backed by the US government while also offering some amazing tax benefits, everyone wants to buy them. But the big question is, where do you go? And the most obvious one is Treasury Direct. This is a website that allows you to buy and sell US Treasuries directly from the US government. There are no fees to buy or sell securities, and you can purchase them for as little as $100 each time. And what's most attractive about Treasury Direct is their rather simple website. There's a very limited selection of securities to pick from because you can only purchase new issues. Overall, that makes the whole user experience actually pretty intuitive, especially for newer investors who don't know that much about Treasuries. For example, if I want to lock up my money for 1 month, I can just go ahead and buy a 4-week Treasury bill. If I want to earn interest for the next 6 months, there's a 26-week T-bill, perfect for me. Pretty simple. As always, if you want an in-depth tutorial on how to buy them properly, feel free to check out the video linked in the description. That said, there are a lot of potential downsides with Treasury Direct. And the first is that it is a government website, so the user experience is newbie friendly, but actually not very fun to use. They take verification very seriously, which is a positive, but I do imagine that most people don't want to check their emails every single time that they want to log in just to get a one-time passcode. Sometimes it is just a bit of a hassle, especially if I want to make a quick trade. Worse yet, if your account gets locked for whatever reason, you may need to submit a lot of paperwork, often with a medallion signature from a bank. It's a complicated process that not every bank offers, so it can be a time-consuming endeavor. Plus, their main customer service line is via phone with the government, so you can probably imagine that it's not the smoothest experience. And here's the kicker. If your account gets locked, you can lose access to your funds for up to 20 weeks or around 5 months. Plus, you don't earn any interest during that time, so a locked account can cost you a lot in terms of both money and time. Additionally, you have limited liquidity with Treasury Direct. If you want to sell your treasuries before the maturity date, you cannot do that directly from the website. Instead, you have to transfer those assets to a bank or broker, but the process is quite slow and can take a few days or even weeks. Plus, you must hold the security for at least 45 days before transferring them out to a separate institution, rendering it almost impossible to sell 4 or 8-week treasuries before their maturity dates. So if you are in a tight financial situation where money is difficult to come by and you might need emergency cash, you may want to plan accordingly or even just avoid Treasury Direct altogether. Of course, for the vast majority of investors though, you're probably going to be just fine with Treasury Direct. At the end of the day, the no trading fees, $100 minimum investment, and a simple list of securities will be perfectly acceptable for the average investor. That said, if you are a little bit more advanced, broker treasuries might offer a much better customer experience. Broker T-bills can be traded through a broker, which is a financial institution that acts as a middleman between buyers and sellers. Some brokers may charge fees for their services, and some require higher minimum balances to purchase specific securities. And some of the most popular brokers include Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard. All of these have no fees when it comes to purchasing treasury bills, and all three allow you to buy both new issues and those on the secondary market. For example, on Fidelity, I can buy the newest treasury bill maturing December 12th, offering around 5.36% APY. Very nice rate. But if I want to target a specific maturity date instead, I can filter for the right one for me. Let's say that I want to buy one 4 months from now. Well, hey, there's a nice treasury bill for me maturing in March with a yield of 5.44%. So if you want a more extensive selection of treasuries to choose from, broker T-bills might be much more attractive for you. However, the minimum investment tends to be a lot higher as well. Remember that you can buy any treasury bill on Treasury Direct with as little as $100. For brokers though, they tend to trade in $1,000 increments. So if you want to deposit $2,500 into a treasury bill, you generally can't do that via a broker. The maximum that you can purchase is only $2,000. It does vary a bit by broker, but that's the general rule of thumb. Liquidity is also much higher when it comes to broker treasuries. You can easily sell securities before the maturity date at any time directly with your broker. You might not get the most attractive price, but for emergencies, this is a major positive if you suddenly need extra cash. Please note though that some brokers may charge convenient fees to sell them early. But possibly the most important advantage with brokers is their customer service. Now, this will vary depending on which broker you choose, but as a collective, they're likely much easier to work with compared to Treasury Direct. For example, with Schwab, they offer very good customer service through the phone, plus they have many physical branches to visit if you run into any account troubles or have any questions. Fidelity also has many branches that you can just walk into, and their online support is pretty darn good. Vanguard does have physical branches, but that's very regional, so phone and emails are the main forms of contact. And finally, as much as people clown on Merrill Edge, you do have the extra benefit of simply just walking into any Bank of America and getting service. So if customer service means a lot to you, picking the right broker is absolutely essential, and Treasury Direct might not be the best fit for your needs. And of course, if you want to learn more about how to buy treasuries directly via a broker, there's plenty of videos linked down below. But at the end of the day, which is better? If you're in a tight financial situation and have less money to invest, Treasury Direct is a very good option. They're simple and have no fees when it comes to buying treasuries. And if you're comfortable managing your own securities, they're perfectly fine. But please note, if you are unlucky enough to have account issues, fixing them might be a pain. Now, if you want more flexibility when it comes to buying treasuries or selecting the right yields for you, brokers are a much better fit. If you have more money to invest or desire more liquidity, holding these securities in a brokerage account can be more attractive. Plus, you tend to get much better customer service and optionality to visit physical branches if you need assistance. However, not all brokers are created equally. Some brokers may charge fees and commissions for their services, and using a brokerage account can be more complicated for your average investor. But of course, I'd love to hear about your thoughts and whether you prefer to buy treasury bills through Treasury Direct or from your favorite broker. Or maybe you decide that you'd like a third option like an ETF such as SGov or a money market fund. As always, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.